Welcome to my channel. Okay, I hope it works this time. I see you. Okay.
Okay, we're good. Okay.
I'm sorry, Instagram has so many texts.
No, you don't need to apologize. This is Instagram.
No.
You have nothing to apologize for.
But nothing. I love your hair. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, girl. It's a bun. I had to do something different.
You're slaying it.
Oh, girl. Thank you. I'll take that. But she needs a redo. She needs a touch-up.
No, but it looks phenomenal.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And also, so I think I'm just going to jump right in.
Okay.
So can you introduce yourself to new fans and viewers that would like to know you and follow you?
Yes, my name is Bria Samoné Henderson. I'm an actress, a writer, a poet, and just an all-around artist. You can follow me on Instagram at Bria Samoné, BriaSamone. You can follow me on Twitter at Bria_Samoné, so BRA_SAMONE. Yeah.
Okay. And also, what are you currently doing to manage your time in quarantine?
Whoa. So I am watching a lot of TV because there's just a lot of time to just watch a lot of TV. I'm doing that. I'm also reading the Bible. I am, focusing more on like really getting into my word. Yeah. I've been exercising with a good friend. So that's just keeping me sweating every day. Yeah. And I'm slowly trying to get back into writing my scripts. I haven't started yet, but I'm sitting on a bunch of scripts on my laptop that I'm like, I just want to finish writing them and see what happens. And I have a bunch of books that I need to one day open and read. So yeah, I have a lot to do creatively, and that, to keep my mind going during quarantine. So yeah, it's just me tackling that list.
You're keeping busy. You're finding things to do.
Right. So much.
And also, I know you like to travel the world. Me too.
To travel, yeah.
Yes, except not right now, sadly. This is a perfect
that
time
part.
If it wasn't happening.
Right.
But after this whole like quarantine, everything is over, where would you like to travel to?
Home. I would love to go home to Richmond, Virginia, to see my family.
Because right now you're separated from them. You're separated from them right now?
So I don't live I'm in LA right now, and that's where I live. That's home for me. But home with my family, that's where I want to go. Like I could go anywhere, like to the beach, to the island, out of the country, but I want to go home. Yeah.
That's really, like, you must miss your family really, because it's like you're parted, you're not together, like, because I think many people are going through that where it's like they can't just like, and I think that's one thing that many people need to be thankful for right now is that some people could be with their families right now and some people just can't. Right.
And so, and a lot of people were able to travel before it got real to be with their family, and that's great. And I knew that I couldn't necessarily be home for this long, so I'm glad that I'm in my home. Because just once you branch off and have your own, you kind of get used to that, and so being at home is lovely after a certain point. And so I miss them and I wish I was there with them, but I think it is best that I am here. Yes.
I agree. And also, what inspired you to become an actress?
Oh, woo. Wow, what inspired me to become an actress? That's such a good question. I don't know. I mean, for a long time, ever since elementary school, I was always on stage performing in some way, like either Black History Month, like spitting poetry, reading, running for office, just so I could do my speech, praise dancing in church, singing in the choir. So I was always in the arts. I played an instrument for about 8 years of my life. So I was always in the arts in some kind of way. I think I saw a production of Ain't Misbehaving somewhere, and it was like immersive, so like we were sitting kind of on the stage, and so we were able to interact with these actors, and I just remember seeing these Black actors on stage doing something that I was like, hey, I've sung before, I know how to dance, I know how to and I think that's what got me into, like, that's what sparked something in me to say, like, oh, this kind of performance is something that I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
But art has always been in my life in some kind of way. And so I just moved with it until like acting was what I realized was the main thing.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So you pretty much just do it all, pretty much.
Okay, I like that.
And how did you first get started in the entertainment industry?
I've been acting for a long time, you know, ever since I was in my first church play. Like, I've just been acting for a long time. I went to school for acting. I went to Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, majored in drama. My sister Jill, she was another amazing actress. Shouts out to Jill. Love you, Jill. And my cousin Deborah, I see you in there too. And then I went to grad school for acting at the University of Washington in Seattle. And I graduated from University of Washington in 2018, so about 2 years ago. And so that's when I first broke out, I guess, into the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's kind of like
where it started.
Right.
Wow.
It started at a young age. I was doing plays. I was on stage. I was doing Shakespeare before I knew it was Shakespeare. Let's say that. I really was.
Yeah. So I actually have another question that goes along with that one. So I noticed that you were in the production As You Like It, which was Shakespeare.
Oh, girl, you do your research.
I sure did.
Yes. Okay, research.
I sure do. And I did that play as well, which is the funniest thing.
Oh, yes.
And so what was your like first project ever, like, you know, like doing like a first like on stage production and then an actual like film type production?
Wow, that's a good question. Wow. I mean, you know, rehearsals for theater. Who did you play in As You Like It?
Actually I forgot. They switched it around like gender wise.
Of course.
It was like what was the guy that sang Under the Greenwood Tree, who loves to lie with me? I don't remember.
You know what? So many people will change up the music.
Like, you know.
And I don't remember As You Like It for many reasons. I don't remember that production for many reasons because I was just not here for it. But I mean, it was great. Shout out to Michael. He was in the production too. He killed it. Shout out to Erica. I think she just joined too. You know, theater, we get like maybe 3 to 4 weeks of rehearsal of being able to hone in on the character, build the character, and not only just build the character at home with our own homework, but being able to build the character with other people in time and seeing what works, what doesn't work. Like how do we create like a tennis match? Like what's the rhythm? What's the tension? But in TV, you know, you have the script, you read the script, you analyze the script, you interpret the script the best of your ability. And you kind of are more rehearsing with yourself. You may have an acting coach that you're, you know, practicing going over lines with and figuring out story and character. But rehearsal is about 30 minutes. And then it's like time to like leave the set and then have camera and lights and sound come in to put everything in place. And then you come back in and you're on. So it's 2 different worlds. And I love both worlds. And I thought I was going to love more than the other. Of course, I do miss theater. I miss the live performance. I miss that feeling of like that whatever you do that night is what you do that night. In comparison to like you get multiple takes and maybe this take's not it. Maybe we're going to do something totally different. And then you don't know which one they're going to choose. But I love that what I learned in theater of always being on and just always going before you're quote unquote ready, you bring to TV because you just don't know which take they're going to take. You don't know what's going to work. You don't know what's going to fit into the story editing of the full piece. So always being on and always being ready and not wasting takes is something that I didn't think I definitely took from the theater world. Yeah.
Wow. I never thought of it, you know, that way, but it's like different thinking of it. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's different.
I don't think people really like, you know, can tell the difference sometimes, but there's like a huge difference between. Like,
oh, it's huge. Yeah. And TV requires a different muscle. I wouldn't say, because a lot of people say like TV actors are smaller, like, you know, they act smaller, but I think you need the same intensity, you need the same aliveness that theater requires of you. But you just need to learn how to scale it. Your audience is not a huge like like, you know, theater, your audience is this camera, and the audience is also who's about to watch this. So having, you know, keeping that emotional core and thread and tension to your future audience is the same kind of muscle that you need when you're on stage live. Yeah, it helps to keep it the same. Like, it's no small theater doesn't require of me anything different than TV. It just requires a different muscle. That's it.
Because I know when I went to LA, I was so used to like the theater setting, you know, screaming and being big and always. So right when you go into auditioning for TV, it's like they're like, tone it down, you know, you don't have to try so hard.
Yeah, just it's like making a huge wall mural a smaller mural. And that doesn't mean you can't be as creative and big and loud in the smaller mural. It's just saying, hey, you just have less space to occupy, but it needs to be just as full as if you would occupy this full wall. And what does that do for you? You know, like, how can you be as big and as and whatever in a smaller frame? Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
It's like just going through it, you know, and just telling the difference. It's awesome. And also, so I know this is a little bit late, but congratulations on booking the role on Miss America.
Thank you so much. It's not late. Thank you so much.
It was your first TV series, which is amazing. So you moved to LA last January and you booked this pretty big gig in the meantime. What was the audition process like?
So the audition process, the first round was just a self-tape submission, and no idea that it was going to be Mrs. America with Kate Blanchett. Like, just no idea. And the sides they gave me were the sides that you see in the show with me and Gloria. But when I received the sides, like, Gloria's name was changed to Wendy. So I had no idea that, you know, this was Gloria Steinem, you know. So I didn't know she was real until the second round when they asked me to come in. And say, they told me, you know, for a callback to come in to the casting office, and they said not to wear makeup. And I was like, oh, that's very specific. Let me Google this woman then. And so I typed her name into Google, and her face popped up, and a few articles popped up, and I was like, oh, she's real. Wow. Great. Like, that changed a lot of what I thought was happening. And so I did as much research as I could, and there's not that much research on Margaret Saul, unfortunately. And then the third round, Carmen Cuba wanted to meet with me, and so we went over the sides. She told me that she loved my self tapes, and she just wanted to meet me. And I think that's when I was like, wait, does that mean I got the part? Like, I'm not used to this. Like, I've been auditioning for a minute, and then a lot of callbacks and great feedback, just not getting booked. And so I was like, I don't know how this works. And you never know. You just never know. So and then I booked the part, and that was in April. So
wow, that's awesome. That was just like a quick change, you know, just from moving right to like LA.
Yeah, for me, I guess when people think, I am trying to get away from timelines, because I think for people, they're like, oh, this was so quick. Oh, God moved so quick in your life. And I'm just like, God moved when he needed to move, and it wasn't quick. You know, like, from my life, it was not quick. I've been training for 7 years. I've been acting longer. I've been in the arts for a long time. And so I think, you know, I think people think, oh, this was so quick. This is such a unique story. And it's like, no, like, if you get the fullness of it, it didn't happen quick. It happened when it needed to happen. Thank God it happened now. I'm grateful, because God knows what's best. So, So
you never know. It may
you never know.
Some people, it may take a long time. So
And so I think instead of us saying, oh, it happened quick, or it took a long time, let's just say it happened intentionally. Like, it intentionally happened, because everything happens for a reason. There's no coincidence. There's no luck. It's what's already written. We're just walking through the book.
And also, what thoughts were running through your mind when you found out you booked the role?
Woo! Okay, so I remember I was off of like Pico or La Brea at some little corner store trying to get a $5 breakfast burrito. And I got a call from my reps, and they were like, you booked it. And so I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, what you mean? Like, what you mean, huh? What you mean I booked it? And I was just out in the parking lot of this little plaza, like, screaming. just screaming. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't even think I wanted the $5 burrito. I don't know if I still ate it that day. Like, I kind of was like, nah, I don't need that. You know, like, what? I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I had been couch surfing for a year.
Yeah.
So I was still sleeping on a friend's couch when this happened. So it was just unreal to me. I couldn't believe I called my mom, then I called like my friend who helped me self-tape, then I called two of my other friends, and I was just like, this is happening. I don't even know how to feel. And my reps were like, this is big. Kate Blanchett. I'm like, okay, y'all, I don't get the scale of this, but okay, cool. Like, what's next? Like, huh? You know, just in total shock. I think I'm still in shock by it all. But yeah, I mean, so many things run through, you know, the thing you're praying for and waiting for and asking God for, and then it happens. You're like, what? Like, I'm worthy for this? You know, so many things that goes through your mind.
Yeah.
I think I was just on a high that whole day. I couldn't believe it.
It was the chance of, you know, choosing that burrito, or hey, you just have your excitement for booking the role, you know?
Right. And I was like, I don't want the burrito. I think I still ate it. But I was like, I don't need it. Like, you know, like.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Woo.
And also, for people not familiar with what the show is about, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. So Mrs. America, which is streaming on FX on Hulu, exclusively on Hulu. The first 7 episodes are out now. And then after that, the next 2 will drop every Wednesday. Yeah. So the story is about the women's liberation movement around the ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment, which states that lawfully women would be treated equal to men. And it's about a time where the Stop ERA, so the women and the people who were against the ratification of the ERA, like really created a huge campaign, like a huge campaign that was led by Phyllis Schlafly, who was a wife and a mother, but she was her true desire was to be in lawmaking and in politics and really like with the men, you know, making legislation, whatever the word. Okay. Sorry. Making legislature. And so she really led that movement. She represented a lot of homemakers. She represented a lot of women who were mothers and wives who wanted to stay in that place and who didn't want their daughters to be drafted in the war, and who felt like if they were to get a divorce, they weren't going to be financially supported, and just a lot of the way they thought about what men being equal to women would look like for them. That was just, they were just so against that. Phyllis led that. She found her place and power in politics by representing those women. And then on the other side of that, the women who were pro-ERA, the women who were pushing for the ratification of this bill, were all of the second wave feminists that you may have heard about or you didn't, like the Gloria Steinems, like the Shirley Chisholms, like the Florence Kennedys, like the Margaret Sloans. So that's what the story is showing, showcasing. You get to see a lot of these women in their fullness. So not just what they were doing to, you know, progress women, but also how their lives were at home, how they were as wives and mothers and single mothers and divorcees, you know, divorcees. So you know.
The weirdest thing is that I actually did a play similar to the setting of that show as well. That's the funny.
Oh, wow.
That's so, it's weird. Wow. Okay. I just realized that thinking of that.
Yeah. It's a beautiful history lesson being told by amazing storytellers, and I think that's some of the best TV you can get, because you know, I always say that the producers and the creator and showrunner take very good care of everyone's story, and you really get to see these ladies in their fullness, ladies that we just don't have in our history books. No one has really taught us about these women who really made huge strides for some of the things that are privileges for us today.
Because I think people don't usually, you know, realize what actually happens, like events that had appeared back then, until you actually like see it and you're like, wow, this actually happened.
You know? This was real. Yeah.
And also, would you say that you are similar to your character Margaret Sloan? If so, how?
Yes. She, well, just being a fierce woman, being fearless in her pursuit for what she believed was right. And she also was just an amazing poet. And a public speaker, and I've done those things before, and her poetry is dope. I bought her poetry book while I was filming and just couldn't believe her words like in the 90s, you know. And Yeah, I found a lot of similarities between me and
Mm-hmm.
Margaret, and I think that's what also just brings my heart to joy, because it was like, wow, this was tailor made for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So, hey Dion, my brother's in here. Hey
Hi.
Dion.
And also, this is a very powerful show. What are you taking away from it, and what should the audience take away from it?
So for me, I'm taking away a free history lesson. I'm taking away a master class on women in history
Mm-hmm.
that have been swept under the rug, that have been, unnoticed for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that other people take away the urge to Google
Yeah.
during this time. I really hope that people Google,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
um, that would bring my heart to joy. If people Google Margaret Sloan's name and these other women's names and really get other information, the fullness of who they were during their time, during a time that was much more dangerous to be outspoken and courageous and brave and fierce, and
Yeah.
they did that for women like us. So
Mm-hmm.
they deserve a Google. They deserve a going down the rabbit hole. They deserve a day of searching and
Yeah.
figuring out who these women are.
Mm-hmm.
So that their names can just live longer. I
Yeah.
mean, their accomplishments have, but I think names are important to remember and honor and give.
That, that
Yeah, yeah,
still need that praise for what they did.
yes, they deserve that.
And also, you portrayed, I know you talked about it a little bit, but you portrayed a real person in life. What was it like becoming the character on the show?
Um, it was fun. I did as much research as I could.
Yeah.
I listened to some of her recordings. I was able to find some of her recordings that her and Gloria Steinem did when they used to tour college campuses and speak on sexism and racism.
Yeah.
And I was able to find like a 30-minute interview with her. So I kept that in mind, and I made like a little short playlist for her,
Yeah.
just to kind of get into the world. I was less interested in being like, I need to be Margaret. And it's like, I need to just bring truth to her story.
Yeah.
And where is the middle ground between like me trying to find her, physicality as much as I could with not much information,
Yeah.
and, leaning on costume and makeup and hair to do that job of the transformation, which they did an incredible job. And then merging what was written on the paper and being
Yeah.
honest and truthful to that. So it was great finding that balance, and I do think I think it shows well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Also, what episodes do you appear in that we can catch you on in Miss America, and when do
So
they?
okay, so it's a limited series, so it's 9 episodes. You can see me in episode 2, 4, 5, and 8.
Ooh, okay, okay, okay. I can't wait to catch that next episode.
Yes. It might be a quick one. It might be a don't blink one, but I'm
I'll
there.
keep my eyes wide open.
Right. Keep your ass wide open.
I'm hoping to see an Oscar and Emmy soon.
Oh,
Okay.
well, yeah. I mean, Kate and Uzo and Nisi, and I mean, I would be shocked. I would be
You'd
shocked.
be shocked, but they would be like,
I'd be
okay,
shocked.
okay, deserve it, you deserve it.
Yeah, like they're definitely gonna get
Yeah.
what they deserve from this. Yeah.
Agreed. And also, as an actress from the Southeast Coast, do you see that there are more opportunities on that coast or on the West Coast in California, or do you feel that they're equal?
I left Richmond because there's just not that much opportunity for an artist, and I'm a huge dreamer, and I knew that Richmond could not be the place that was going to cultivate me as the storyteller and the artist and the voice that I wanted, and
Yeah.
the people that I wanted to affect in that way. So I left like for undergrad. I knew that I couldn't stay in Virginia or in Richmond because there was no place for what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I went there, and then I left and went to Seattle. And from Seattle, it was either going to be New York or LA for me.
Yeah.
LA just pulled me more, so that's where I went. But I think New York is a huge market, and there's just as much opportunity in New York that you also find in LA. It's just which market you want to live in. It's more to just which you want to work. Where do you want to live? Where do you want to be grounded and anchored in home at?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. And as a woman of color in the entertainment industry today, do you tend to find it much harder within industry, like being accepted, or do you feel that you have to work harder? Where would you say?
Always the case and always the truth that you have to work harder. That's just something that I've been taught innately.
Yeah.
Growing up, we're all taught that we have to work harder. We have to bring all of ourselves, in a very crafted way.
Yeah.
We just have to do more. I've always just been, I guess, being comfortable knowing that I've always had to do more, which is good and bad at the same time.
Yeah.
So a work ethic has always been instilled in me, and a hard work ethic at that. I'm someone, if I want something, I'm going to go after and get it. I'm not going to wait for people. And I think other people can wait for people because opportunity keeps coming to them. And opportunity doesn't come knocking to people like us all the time. We actually have to go out and knock on doors.
Yeah.
And so I've just been used to that. And so, of course, I don't think even when you book your first thing, it changes for you.
Yeah.
It just opens your eyes that it can happen. But now you see that I have to work even harder, and then I have to work smarter now. And so you learn every step of the way. You learn at each level you get to. It does not get easier.
Yeah.
It just gets more comfortable.
Agreed. I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
Because when I first went to LA, like when I was younger, I would tell my mom, I want to go to LA, Mom. I feel like there's more opportunities for me. And she was like, I don't know how it's going to go, because we're a woman of color, and, it's just, we don't know how it's going to go. If it's going to be like, we don't get opportunities. She didn't want to upset me. But then it's like, you just, you have to realize you can go. It's just, you have to work and thrive harder.
And if you're willing to do that, and if you're willing to make the sacrifices, then do it. But if not, then maybe it's not for you. Like,
and also, for people wanting to get started in the entertainment industry, what is some advice you can give them? Oh, did he go up?
Some of the, can you hear me?
Yes. No, it went black screen.
Okay. The advice I would give someone if they wanted to start off, would be to take classes. I hate telling people that because I hated when people told me to take classes after I had left grad school. But I understood, because it's not just that, oh, you need the training, or, oh, you need to work on your craft, which you always should be doing in some kind of way. But it's to create community, and it starts you off in a good networking place, to meet other like-minded artists, to meet other casting people, to meet network people, to know what's happening, to meet writers, to meet producers and directors. And that's how you start to work, because it's not about talent in this industry. It's about who you know, and even more importantly, who knows you. So it's about getting yourself out there. But class is a good place to start with that kind of community.
Agreed. And also, so I know you mentioned this also before, but would you say, so you play your character, Margaret Sloan, on Miss America. She is an African-American feminist. Would you say that you are a feminist?
Yes. I would. Yes. I think before I knew I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, do you feel that in the entertainment industry, women are getting the same rights as men are?
No.
No, still.
No. There's still, I mean, the wage gap alone. No, just no. Point blank period, no.
So
that, to the point that when you see projects that are led by women, it's a thing. It's like monumental.
Yeah.
It's monumental. Like, if something is still monumental, then then equality does not exist.
Agreed.
Point blank period.
Oh, sorry?
No, I said point blank period.
Oh, yeah. And also, so I know you're also a spoken word poet, which is amazing. But so I haven't met like a lot of people who have done that. But can you tell everyone a little bit about that and what a spoken word poet is and what inspired you?
Wow, good question. These are great questions. So a spoken word poet, I don't even know how to define it. It's someone who just speaks and spits their writing, their creative writing. I don't have a formula. I don't abide by the rules a lot. I speak what I write on paper if I want to share it. I got into it in high school. I just would go home every day after school after doing my homework, and I would just watch all of the poets on Brave New Voices, like on YouTube, and like Def Jam poetry. Like I used to watch it, just consume it on YouTube, and I just was like, what is this art for? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that people get up and like spit poetry in like these rhythmic and creative ways, and they tell stories and they use their voice and their presence, and it's not acting, but it has a little bit of like theatrical performances to it. And I liked it, and I felt like this is an outlet to get some things off my chest that I can't necessarily say when I'm speaking someone else's text in a play or in a script. Like, and maybe I'm a writer. And so I remember there was a competition happening in Richmond, and my friend was like, yo, you should just sign up for the competition. And this is when I was like, well, I'm a poet now. So I took a poem from YouTube that I really loved by Alexis Marie. It was an amazing poem. And I had my best friend spit it with me. And, and we won the competition. And then from there, we had both went to Spelman. And Spelman does this thing called Spellbound, where the new incoming students have like a talent show.
Yeah.
Well, it's called Spell Jam, but Spellbound is like a weekend where new incoming students come to visit Spelman to get kind of the idea and feel for like what it would be like to be a Spelman student. And then one of the culminating nights is to have Spell Jam, which was like a talent show that those students could sign up for and like showcase their talents. And so we did that, and we got second place there. And then once we became students at Spelman, other students started to hear like, oh, they're poets. Like Maya and Bria, they do poetry. So they would invite us to perform for their events. But we were like, hey, we don't write. We just we just remix other people's poems, you know? And they're like, no, try to write. And so we started writing together at freshman year, and we were writing for like 4 years together, writing poetry together, and it worked. And we got into amazing rooms. We did it. We performed at the Bronze Lens Film Festival twice. And yeah, other people started to use our poems. Like we were using other people's poems. So, and it's something that I still do. Like I still free write. I still have a bunch of poems in my phone. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a fun outlet. It's, when I was taking English class at Spelman, like I just didn't do that well because I just broke all of English rules. Yeah. And I just knew that like creative writing in like that kind of like academic way just wasn't for me. And I was like, look, someone can read my words and know exactly what I mean when I'm saying that. Yeah. So, and I'm articulate. So I mean, it's not like I'm missing anything, but I just didn't want to fit in the norm of what being grammatically correct and here are the rules and I'm like, no, like what I like the written word was made up, you know what I'm saying? Like I can make up my own. And so I tell stories, and so it's an outlet for me to be free of like any rules and just go with my own, create my own rules in my own writing.
Okay, a rebel. And also, would you like to give us a little sample?
Yes, I can. I'm gonna read it. This is a poem that I have not, like, I think I read this to my best friend, who also is a poet. But this is one that I kind of wrote recently, it was like a free write. So I don't know what it's called, but here it is. Okay. I tried to give myself freedom to know what love is. But every time I was about to make the leap, freedom ran from me. And I was left at the edge of a cliff, paralyzed, mute, unmovable, timid. Sweating, itching, wanting to jump, skin begging to feel air hold me up, heart longing for love to touch it, make it skip beats, make it pulse a lullaby through my veins, body yearning to ride the feeling, mind afraid of the unknown, but sure I would soar, 'cause I'm fly, so I'm built to bend the wind, sure that love would carry me through skies only my eyes could see, but freedom ran off and took courage with her. Now I'm here at the edge of glory, looking out into the possibilities, mouth watering for lips to touch and give, arms open, ready to hold something that's not me, but freedom ran and got miles away from me. So I stand in premeditated risk with no strength to go. I just stand. They call me cold because I'm guarded. Men say that I'm too hard, like I'm rock, like I must be made from a boulder, like I'm not breakable, like why I'm so tough. Like, where are the soft parts of me? Clouds can't hold rocks, they just fall through. Like, how am I going to find a man to love me? Like, where are my soft parts? Like, where can they bite me? Like, how can they leave a scratch on me if I'm not moldable? Like, how can they reshape me into what they like? Why I'm so brick, so heavy? Where can they fit if I'm so different? Like, I can't fit in their place for me. Like, I'm mountain, like I'm too guarded, like I'm too grounded, like I'm too much, like I'm too dense, like I'm not enough for love. So
wow. Whoa. Whoa. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Wow, that's a true talent. Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank you.
Love that. You're welcome. Wow. Okay. I never knew what spoke like that. Like, wow. I'm
Yeah,
just amazed. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I wish I could do that.
You can. No, anything you want to do. If you have an idea to like, I want to do something, do it. Try it out. Write something.
As Nike says, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. Write something. And once you write down something on paper, you're a writer. Then congratulations. You know, like who's making the rules? You know, who are we allowing to give us the title? Give yourself the title. So many people are making it in this industry and in the world because they gave themselves the title first, and they didn't allow anyone to take that title from them, whether or not they were good enough for someone else to ingest and digest. People are calling themselves fashion designers every day. People are calling themselves influencers. If you're an influencer, then who am I to take that title from you?
No one can take the title except you.
No one. And no one can allow someone else to take the title except for you too. So give yourself the titles.
Okay. You inspired me to try something new.
Do it. Really try it out. You never know. You never know.
Yeah. And also, what was your life prior to getting the role of Margaret Sloan in Miss America?
My life prior, I was in grad school, so I graduated in 2018. And then I did the NBC Diversity Showcase with the network. So they, brought like 10 actors to showcase diverse talent, like new diverse talent in the industry in front of a lot of execs. Mm-hmm. But while I was in grad school, I had booked a role at the Seattle Children's Theater in Seattle that fall. So I was flying back and forth to LA, rehearsing for the showcase, did the showcase like in September. And like that morning, I flew back to Seattle to get my costume fitting to start rehearsal for the show. Wow. And so for a year, like from like from May of 2018 to like October of 2019, I was couch surfing between Seattle, LA, and New York. And I officially moved to LA at the top of January last year, and nothing was happening, and I was getting really depressed, and I was auditioning, and I wasn't booking. And so that was like, hey, come on now. I have dreams, I have goals. And yeah, they tell you now, people tell you it takes 10 years to conquer LA. And I just refuse to allow that to be my truth, because I don't know who decided that it takes 10 years to conquer anything. Like for anybody, like we're all different, like we're all on different paths, and we all have different work ethics, and we all have different destinies. So I will not take someone else's timeline and make it mine. I just won't.
Great.
Because I've never been on anyone else's timeline before, and I shouldn't start now.
Yeah.
But so then a friend called me one day, and I was leaving church, and I remember I was like, God, I need you to move in some kind of way. And my friend was like, look, I'm doing a play in New York, and I need you. So I was like, okay. So I flew to New York, did a play in New York. That was like my New York debut. That was great. I met some New York people. I got to feel what it would feel like to be a working actor in New York. And I was like, okay, because I kind of wanted to do this bi-coastal thing. So here it is happening to me. And then I came back to LA with no job, no idea what I was going to do. And I think I started applying. My friend was like, look, you're waiting for this industry to say yes to you, but you need to be of service to something. You know, you love to teach, you love to work with kids, be in service. So I applied to different things. I worked with kids at the Soho House. Like on Saturdays, I taught at a studio called Actors Play LA here. Yeah. That gave me, a good foundation, gave me amazing community. And then I worked with kids at a juvenile detention center and taught playwriting with them. So that kept me going and still working on the craft, still building with other artists, and still inspiring newer artists to, showcase parts of them that they never shared before. And I remember just being on that couch like, God, you have to do something, because I had booked another show in Seattle, and I was going to fly back to Seattle for a few months. and do the show, because it was going to be security, it was going to be a financial blessing, it was going to be all the things that I needed or wanted, but it wasn't what I, you know, like, it wasn't the thing that I came to LA for. So I remember praying, and I told my mom, I was like, I think I'm going to turn down that other show in Seattle. And she was like, look, you need the money. So it's your decision. You're the adult, but you need the money. And so I decided to just step out on faith. I had to remember who my God is. And he works best when you're leaning fully on him. That's the only way you can feel him catch you, when you just lean all the way back. When you lean halfway back, you don't feel it. But when you just fall back, you'll feel the catch. So I declined that show and felt like I made the dumbest decision of my life. And I was like, something has to give. And Margaret Sloan came, and it was more than what I needed. Because it was everything that I needed. Because it was things that I didn't know that I needed in my first job, that job that Margaret Sloan rendered me. That when I say, like, this was tailor-made, and your blessings and what's going to happen for you is tailor-made, it's tailor-made to the point that you didn't even know it needed to be cinched in at the waist. It's already cinched in. You didn't even know that one leg needed to be longer than the other. But it's already like that. You didn't know that you needed pockets because you were going to have to put some coins in there to save later, but it already just came with pockets. That's how tailor-made it is. Like, we can create the outfit we want, but God has the tailor-made suit for us, and he's going to take care of every scene that needs to be taken care, like that needs care. And so this job came with everything that I didn't know I needed. And I am forever grateful for that. Like, I'm forever grateful for when it happened and how it happened and in the way it happened. Still a dream. Still a dream.
That's amazing. Wow.
Whew.
That's a true powerful woman. I just have to say that. You're welcome. And also, what do you hope to achieve 10 years from now? Because I know you said that you wanted to be a screenplay writer. I believe screenplay. So you want to. Yeah,
I want to do it all. In 10 years.
Yeah, that's a full span of time.
Wow. Long time. I would hope to have my own mix of, like, Issa Rae, Ajane Ellis, Regina King.
Wow.
Like Donald Glover, like Fleabag, chewing gum world. Yeah, that's what I want. I want Jordan Peele, like, just my own mix. I am not one thing, and I am not interested in being just one thing in this industry. I want to do it all because I can, and I'm still learning to give myself full permission to do that. But I want to be all the things. Yeah, all the things. Like my sis Jill said, all the things. I want to be all the things because I am all the things.
Do it all. Do it all.
Yeah.
And also, I know you talked about before that you were a mentor for youth. As a mentor for youth, so I know you said you did a couple things, but what are you hoping to expand to do, for the youth as well?
I would love to keep having workshops and keep having master classes. And when I was in high school, I started like an all-girls club called Sway, Sisters with an Intuition. And it was just like a sisterhood that I wanted to create amongst, girls who looked like me and my peers. And we would do like community service together, and we would just talk. And ever since that, I was a part of, like, For My Sister at Spelman, where we traveled to different countries to mentor young girls on hygiene and civic engagement and scholastic excellence. And from there, it's just like I've always been someone that I'm always either talking to a sister who's like maybe 2 to 5 years younger than me about what they want to do and help guide them in whatever path they want to create for themselves. But I always want to help Black girls who look like me. And when they see me, I want them to know that they can do everything that they dream of doing. So always, like, igniting that fire. I would love to just light matches of different Black girls who look like me, chunky, dark-skinned Black girls who just are like, I want to do this. Okay, you can do it. Here's the lighter. Bow, go. Ignite the world, But yeah, like a workshop, a summit, things that really give back to girls that come from places like I come from, who, have the same, kind of like battles that I've had, where you just don't feel like you fit in, you don't feel loved, you don't feel supported, you don't feel lifted, but yet you can overcome and do all the things you want to do. So yeah.
Because I'm also an advocate as well, and I love giving back.
Yes.
So, and growing up as a girl of color as well, you know, I was surrounded by a lot of the stereotypical blonde hair, blue eyes, and I always thought, I would always tell my mom, I would be like, I don't like my curls, I don't like how I look, you know. I would always think I wasn't good enough, but it took me like a really long time to realize that, hey, I am me, this is who I'm born to be, you know, I just have to go for that. And a couple years back, I attended like woman empowerment type organization of a couple workshops and events that they do in New York, and pretty much for girls and low income families, pretty much a woman gives back to them and pretty much mentors them for what they want to do, such as one girl wanted to become a piano player, so she gave her a teacher, you know, to teach her how to play piano. And she just loves giving back, and I just love that about people, that they love giving back, because I think
that's what it's about. Like, if someone helps you find your you, then it would be a disservice if you don't pay that forward. I will never not work with youth, especially Black girls. I just won't. I just won't. Like, I refuse to, you know? Because I wish that there were more girls that looked like me when I was younger. I needed to see me. And for a long time, I didn't see me. I saw girls who were Black, you know, but I didn't see me. And
Agreed. And also, thank you so much for that as well.
Yes.
Just, my mom's over here clapping too. I have to clap.
Yes, Mom.
Mom said, "Hey."
Hi, Mom. You have a beautiful daughter. Beautiful daughter.
Thank you. You're so beautiful yourself. I love what you're saying.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And is there also anything else you would like to add before we wrap up that I didn't add?
No, I mean, you asked some great questions. I love your platform. Keep going.
Thank you so much.
Keep going. You're very special, and very young. So just keep going and have fun. And dream bigger. You know, one thing, one of my professors in grad school, who I always had a little trouble with, in my last meeting with him, he just looked at me. He said, "You know, Bria, you're a piece of work." And it was funny because my parents, you know, parents say that, like, you're just a lot, you know, like, you're a piece of work. And I'm like, I know that I am. And I'm a piece of work because I do the things that you probably aren't brave enough to do. I'm always just doing things. It's just like, why does Bria get herself in these situations where she, you know, and it's just like, but it pays off. And so he also told me to just dream bigger than what I was dreaming, because I could do anything. And to hear that from him after 3 years of hearing other things from him was very, like, confirming for me. So for other people, especially young minds, like, you can do anything. And I'm not sure young people younger than me understand what that means, but like, understand that the world is big and you can take up that full space. And there are going to be people and things and situations that's going to make you think smaller, and it's going to make you dream smaller, and it's going to make your visions get really tiny. And you're going to start saying, well, God, I don't want this big thing. I'll take this little thing because that's what I think I deserve. That's what I think I'm ready for. And God is like, no, dream big and watch me work, you know? And so I would say, if whatever you have in you that is burning, even if it scares you, even if you think it's too big, even if you think it's unattainable, run after it with full speed. And there will be speed bumps on the way, but as long as you get up and dust off, if you have to cry, scream, and yell and crawl, go after it, because there are so many people getting huge opportunities and their dreams are happening because they have this insanity level of vision and of faith. And that's all. And that's what you need. That's what you need. I am not here. I'm not done with my story. My story has just begun. But I think LA happened the way it happened, and that booking happened because I saw things beyond what I had. I was sleeping on a couch with a pillow, a sheet, and a blanket. Okay. I shared a bathroom with 3 other people. You know, like, I bounced from different homes. I was trying to figure out, I had an air mattress one time. I had to leave an apartment because the landlord didn't want me to stay with my friend, you know, but I still was after something. And my living situation and my money situation would tell you differently. It would tell me to go back home, to work at your mom's job, and to just let the dream go. But something else bigger than me kept me going. And so keep connected to whatever is bigger than you that keeps you going. Yeah. Because that is how you're going to make it. And sometimes you don't feel that thing holding on to you as tight as sometimes it is, but it's still holding on to you. And dreams happen if you don't quit. They will always happen if you don't quit.
Agreed. I extremely agree with that.
I'm just saying, that's what I just want to leave with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. And also, can you tell us all again where we can find you and follow you?
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram at Bria Samoné. That's BriaSamone. And then you can also follow me on Twitter at Bria_Samoné. BRIA_SAMONE. And you put it right at the bottom too. Thank you.
Right there.
Yes.
Thank you so much again. Yeah.
Thank you so much for just reaching out. And thank you for this platform, and keep it going, because I've been watching the other ones too. And so you're very special, and you have great questions, and you're so smart. And so this is great that you're sharing other people's talents on your platform. And I just hope that, you know, it just keeps inspiring you to do more and bigger. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on, empowering me and everyone, and talking. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And for the positivity.
Yes. Oh, always. We need so much positivity, because as soon as we cut these cameras off, like, we're facing what's happening in the real world. So fight the positivity. All we have is what's in us.
Find happiness.
What's in us is greater than what's out about us. So keep that going. Keep that positivity going. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Anytime. We can do this again. Yes.
And I hope you stay safe.
Yes, you too. You and your mom and your family stay safe. Keep loving on each other, and smile and laugh as much as you can.
And hopefully this will be over soon.
Yes, it will be. We will come out of this. Just get ready. Just keep doing these lives. You know, you're still doing stuff. You're still being productive. You're still not allowing the outside world to stop something that you planned. And I just say keep going with that. You're on the right path. And I'm excited. I am excited.
No, it froze. Oh my gosh, you were
Wait, I hear you. I hear you.
You hear me?
Wait, I'm back. Yeah, no, I just said I'm excited for you.
Like, you're speaking.
I said I'm really excited for you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you again.
Yes, thank you. Yes, no problem. Have a good one.
You too, and I hope to see you in LA at some point.
Oh, you will. Let's make that happen. Yes.
Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone that came on. I had an amazing time talking to Bria. You guys should go follow her. So if you guys missed the live stream, it's going to be on my YouTube and IGTV channel either later tonight or tomorrow. And regularly I go live every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 p.m. I can't speak. 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be going live next Thursday with musician and singer Kennedy Madison. So tune in for that. I will not be going live next Tuesday. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.